Yeah, the
Not
men's.
alive.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Clap sync. There you go. Beat you to it.
Whatever.
So last one, 2K, whatever, 17. The one that's directed by Spike Lee.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I do like how we have the banter going even before I
You don't have this pinned, you animal.
Well, no, because it's usually in the system and it's usually the last game I played, so it's never pinned. Welcome to the podcast, a Full House podcast.
Yeah, I'm at the edge of the friggin' couch.
I'm Danny Tanner. And Becky, Uncle Jesse, Joey, Michelle, and Stephanie.
Wow. Stephanie's hot, dude, so I mean, like...
What? Isn't Stephanie on meth?
No, she
very well though.
She was.
She was.
But she cleaned up. Don't judge for past mistakes.
Oh, is just when Nelson scrolled past, it's in alphabetical order, dumbass.
So the EA, so this is what EA...
I got distracted by the Xbox 360.
Yeah, too bad you're waiting for the X to get your Xbox, because Forza 5...
God damn it.
You gotta put the game in.
No, it is in!
What?
Is it upside down?
Oh my god, if it would have popped out upside down like Nelson,
I would have
what
laughed.
the fuck? I never experienced that with the but
why
Forza
you buy
5
digitally.
is the game with gold next month. So
Okay.
you'd get it for free if you had Xbox Live. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna download it for free. And I'm gonna trade in my copy
Wait,
for
what
like
is...
$5.
So, wait, what? What's...
Forza 5 is gonna be the first half of the month games with gold next week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so there's a piece of news for you guys. Which also I should segue into that. Before I even got to the sponsor. Oh well. We're gonna start a news segment on the show. James, I'm gonna tell you more about that later because we want you to be a part of that little thing.
Okay.
But anyways, sponsor. This week's podcast is brought to you by Loot Crate. Awesome Loot Crate. I think everyone here has tried out Loot Crate at least some point.
Yep.
We've all enjoyed it.
I wanted to, but
Well, James,
never
if you want
did.
to, we've got a deal for you, sir. You can save 10% off your subscription by going to trylootcrate.com/clash and enter the keyword bridge. I think it's bridge 10. Either way,
Bridge
it'll
10,
be in the
I think.
description. Bridge 10, yeah. It'll be in the description. So more from our sponsor later.
Get that
That
sound.
volume's got to come down.
Yeah.
But
So
I like it.
yeah. So, oh, by the way, Nelson, you like my icon? It's a
Oh yeah, I was playing with you when you got it.
What is
a
that?
phrasing, man. Phrasing.
No, I think he meant what he said.
What is your icon?
It's one of the characters powerlifting.
Yeah.
One of the female characters. Powerlifting.
What's her name? It's
The big Russian
the German
lady.
chick. Oh, Russian chick.
Yeah,
I can never remember her name because I never play as her because I'm terrible with her.
Zarya.
Zarya, that's right.
Yeah.
Zarya.
This is
yeah.
one of those games where I wanted to play, just never
James,
got around
get on
to.
board, man.
Yeah, you need
Dude,
I wanted to
Sean,
do Loot
my
Crate,
son,
but I didn't.
my son, I bought it for him just so he could play with us. His first game, dude, he was dominating people. He had more kills than me and Nelson. He's just
He was
like,
probably older than the kids playing, probably.
no. What I like about Overwatch, what I found is, for the most part, it's people our age playing. Though we did get into a game with younger kids the other day. But for the most part, it's people our age who play Overwatch.
Well, I mean, at least those
the
kids
young kids are still
weren't
racist on COD. There's
Yeah.
no blocking that.
At least the kids that we were playing the game with weren't terrible.
No, they weren't terrible. It was funny too because we were doing the competitive season 5,
Okay.
and so we were on a roll, and then one of them
I
sent
don't
us
like
A
competitive.
lot of characters, looks like.
one of them.
Damn it!
One of them sent us a
What are we
an
doing?
invite to their team. So we're like, okay, cool. They're playing well. We're playing well.
Yeah.
We'll hop on that team. And then they sent us a party chat so we all communicate. And they were like 14, 15 years old. So after one game playing with them, because I cannot do those high-pitched voices over voice chat, we're like, yeah, I got to go, man. It was cool playing with you. You guys want to play again sometime? Sure. 'Cause I didn't want to be mean. Because there was no reason to be mean.
Did you friend them back?
Fuck no.
Okay. I
They're
didn't friend
gonna
them back
find
either.
this
Right.
podcast somehow
Right.
and just anger comments.
They
all
don't
over.
know my
Good.
gamer tag.
I don't care if it's good or bad comments. More comments get us put towards the front page.
They don't know my gamer tag, and what do they do? They're 13.
Yeah.
What are they
JM
gonna
Active
do?
Low 6.
Oh.
But
Clapsing.
I just unsynced it now. You're Arissa?
Yeah. Because someone took Diva.
It's all that. I thought you.
I was gonna go with Sombra, but I was like, you know, we don't have a tank.
So each character's unique, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah, unique play styles, everything. That's
you
what I
can
love
switch
about
after
it.
every
Yep.
round or something?
You can switch in the middle of the game.
Yeah, you can switch after.
Like after you die,
Yeah.
or you don't even have to die. You just go back to the starting point, the spawn point, and you can switch
Yeah,
out.
once you go
It's
past this
basically-
barrier, you can switch character.
Yeah.
It's basically a first-person Dota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were going with. In
okay.
fact, a couple of these characters are now in Dota.
Mhm.
They added.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Dota
yeah,
or their
so-
version, because I know Blizzard has their own version.
Oh no, Heroes with the Storm. I
Yeah,
think
Heroes
it's
with the Storm.
Blizzard, yeah. But yeah, this game's over a year old, and already it's kind of like we still play because usually with a shooter, you play it for like a few months, like maybe 6 months at the most, and then you're on to the next thing.
Except for Counter-Strike for some strange reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Been around for what,
And
like,
I've played Counter-Strike too. It's not a bad game, but
No.
it's kind of like I don't get like this like cult following of this game.
Yeah, I mean the game came out
Maybe
in,
'cause it was, like, the first-
99.
It's
Yeah.
out for the long
Maybe
time.
because it was the first really good
almost 20 years old.
FPS PvP game, PvP game. Is maybe that's why like people love it so much.
There was Team Fortress before that. I mean, as far as mods go,
I thought Team Fortress was the mod of Counter-Strike.
no, Team Fortress is Counter-Strike's a mod of Half-Life.
Yeah,
Team Fortress originally was a mod for Quake.
Oh, Quake. Okay, I knew Team Fortress was a mod for
Yep.
something. I remember that, but because I'm not a PC gamer, because I don't believe in calling myself a master race. Because when you're blonde hair, blue eyes, it's never a good idea.
Usually not. No.
But so we're not even on topic yet. So
not at all.
does anybody else? Has anybody else? I know Nelson has because I've made him listen to it. Heard "It Ain't Me" by Selena's Gomez. Has anybody else heard that song?
Maybe.
I am
No.
fucking obsessed with that song, and I can't
Ain't
explain it
Me
because
by
so weird.
I don't like pop music.
Selena
It's so
Gomez?
weird.
Selena's,
Is it
Sarah.
Selena?
Selena's.
Selena?
Why do you
Is
gotta
that what
say it like
Justin
that?
calls her?
So are we sponsored by the Disney Channel now?
That's why she was
Is
Disney.
that what
Disney.
Justin calls her? Selena?
I don't know. That's how I say. I say because it makes me laugh.
That's funny.
Because it was like the way in the Selena movie, not Selena Gomez, but that other Selena pop star who got shot.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, I wish it was Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, it took me a second.
But like Edward James Olmos, that's kind of like the way he would pronounce it. It's like Selena's. And it's like, you're Spanish, right? How are you fucking this up? Which, by the way, Edward James Olmos is the best name ever because that used to confuse the shit out of me when I was a kid. It's like, Edward James Almost? He's not quite.
He's been around.
That's
I
why I
always
used
have
to
a
think,
last
like
name.
growing up, I thought it was Mary Ann Barry. Like I didn't realize.
Right.
I know, yeah.
I thought I was the only one who's like, oh, there's
No.
No, I think
Yeah.
everyone our age when we were
Yeah.
kids, we thought that about this great guy. And he got reelected
Bitch
after
set
he
him
got
up.
out of jail.
Bitch set him up, man.
Well, he didn't get.
He did. I mean, he isn't wrong.
He became mayor again after.
Oh, okay.
And then he was
I
a
know
councilman until he
was
died.
councilman.
It's like,
No,
holy
he
shit.
Did he get reelected afterwards?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got reelected
Yeah.
the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
And
did.
then his son tried to take his seat when he died, and by changing his name to Marion.
Dirty.
Well, that was like that. That was like that Eddie Murphy movie, Distinguished Gentleman, where he had the same last name as like a deceased senator, and so he just ran. He didn't do any commercials. He just ran with the signs, and people. And that's how dumb voters are. They just saw the name, and they were like, all right,
Okay, I
vote.
know
When did
that
one
guy.
come out?
Right.
Distinguished Gentleman, like 90s, early
Is that
mid
like-
90s.
Oh, come on.
Was that was post the vampire movie?
The vampire.
It was right around the same. It was him and Arsenio Hall, so I mean, it was around that era of
Okay.
coming to America.
What was the vampire
Yes.
movie?
Vampire in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I knew it was something in Brooklyn, but I couldn't.
So yeah, it was
Oh, yeah,
it was
Vampire
around
Brooklyn, I think
it was around that time that him and Arsenio Hall were just making movies together.
Okay.
I never thought Vampire in Brooklyn was that good, but Distinguished Gentleman was kind of good. It was a nice. It was a pretty decent satire because for an Eddie Murphy movie, it was also kind of smart
It's no
too.
Chubby Rain, but it's good.
I mean, it was they did like a really good job with it because at least I haven't seen it in over a decade, but it was one of those things like it wasn't super goofy, which is what like the trailer kind of led you to believe.
Yeah.
It was I think it's what that one Warren Beatty movie Bullworth wanted to be.
Bullworth. That was the one. With
That was
like,
with him and Halle Berry.
Yes.
The one with
I
like
remember
the
that
big face eating something on the cover. Right?
No.
Bullworth?
Yes.
Yeah.
It had like a rap, almost like a mid '90s rap cover
Okay.
to it.
But he
That's
didn't
because
read-
In fact,
the
didn't,
entire-
didn't Old Dirty Bastard do like the theme to that?
Yeah.
I think he did.
ODB did the theme, and then Wyclef did a song on there. And,
Was it Gone
yeah.
Till November?
No, it was not.
You know what? I used to like that song,
Till
and
you
so
found
I
out what it was about.
so I grabbed it on Apple Music like a couple weeks ago, and I listened to it once. I was like, this song is fucking terrible. And I was looking back at like my choice of music in the late 90s.
Oh no,
like,
don't ever do that.
I was like Limp Bizkit. I was like, Jesus, what was wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like, I can listen to Nookie, but it's ironically. It's not that I enjoy it. It's like, what the fuck was wrong with me? I did it all for the cookie? Yeah? I was like, God, I hate Fred Durst so much.
Didn't Offspring, because I used to listen to Offspring.
They're
a
still
lot,
good.
And I still
like
listen to
Offspring.
them, like, anytime I go.
And that's almost the
to
carrier
the
from
gym.
last week when I said one of the greatest soundtracks ever was the Batman Forever soundtrack.
It's bat nipples.
Look it up. No, that's Batman and Robin.
No, the third one. Yeah.
Batman Forever.
With YouTube's on it.
YouTube, Seal, Kiss from a Rose, the
Oh,
greatest
okay.
song of the 90s. That and Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love, two best songs ever in the 90s.
I
Fuck
vote for
Celine
Meatloaf.
Dion and her Titanic shit.
Oh wow.
Poor Celine.
Right.
Celine, not Celine.
I mean, the 90s had Nirvana. Like, how could you...
Oh.
Nirvana sucks. One of the most overrated bands ever. The Foo Fighters are better. You know?
Foo Fighters are good.
And you know what? Because we got the Foo Fighters, because of that, I'm glad Kurt Cobain's
No,
there.
the Foo Fighters existed prior.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
The first Foo Fighters album, which is the only good one, was done on, I think it was on the hiatus.
Sorry, I'm not
for,
gonna ask you to leave.
It was still, it was old
You're
Dave
gonna
Grohl.
have to leave now.
Yeah.
The only good Foo Fighters album.
Yeah.
Come
The
on.
one, the
I'm a fan of
one-man
Hootie and
show.
Blowfish.
The one man show. No,
Yeah.
like all of that. I like all the albums, but the first one I thought was the best. Because I remember hearing about it the first time. I was like, dude, you gotta hear this album. It's done by the drummer from Nirvana.
Who's
It's back when I was in middle
Did you
school.
Who's
ever
a Nova
from
native?
Nirvana?
Throw it up for Virginia.
Yeah, does
His mom still lives. Yeah,
Aaron has his Costco card, doesn't he?
he does. That's Costco card.
Costa.
He saw Dave Grohl at the Black Cat for some show, and because he's a co-owner, and so he saw him. He's like, "Can you get an autograph?" He's like, "Well, I don't do autographs at other people's shows, but here you can have my Costco card."
Well, that's cool. Dave
So he gave him his
Even
Costco
better.
Well, that's cool. Dave Grohl not doing that at somebody else's show because actually, like that actually reminds me of a story since I did the whole Full House intro. So,
We have to play that like clip in the background.
yeah. What's his name? Uncle Jesse. What's his real name? John Stamos. He went to because he was on a soap opera before Full House with Rick Springfield.
Okay.
So he went to Rick Springfield's concert one night, just so support for his boy. And he ended up locking himself in the bathroom because all the women at the concert were like, Stamos! And were like hounding him. And he didn't want to he wasn't trying to take attention from Rick Springfield's concert, so he snuck away and
He was
just
a
locked him.
gentleman.
Yeah. Well, he says he locked himself away in the bathroom. Who knows if he didn't have an orgy going on with someone.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if we were Stamos in the late 80s,
There'd been a lot of coke and a lot of
Was
hoes.
that mullet? Or
Yeah.
They'd be
Yeah,
screaming
ain't a
over
mullet.
Jesse.
The mullet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
didn't have a mullet
drummer
in
for
the
the
80s.
Beach Boys. For some
Yes.
for a small sliver of time, yeah. On the album that Kokomo was
Yeah.
featured on, he was the drummer.
Wow.
That's why they were on
Full
Full House.
He pulled in a favor.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Huh. Wow.
Which also reminds me of the Beach Boys rival the Beatles. One of my favorite press conference questions ever was like, "Is Ringo the best drummer in the world?" And John Lennon just nonchalantly goes, "Ringo's not even the best drummer in the Beatles." That's just
That's funny.
The shade.
And yet, who's the
The
richest
shade
drummer
of
in
it
the
all.
world?
yeah. That's because all the really good drummers are dead, like Keith Moon and John Bonsai Bonham.
Phil Collins is still alive.
Barely though.
I heard.
Like his whole tour,
Yeah.
Like until the last show, he was basically sitting in a chair the whole time singing like
Oh
this,
my god, really?
because he fucked
Yeah, he
up
got
his
nerve.
back.
Yeah, he got nerve damage. from
Yeah.
it, yeah.
And so
Which
his
is weird
last,
because Neil Peart's still like.
Yeah, Neil Peart's
Yeah.
around.
oh yeah, Neil Peart.
Yeah, I
Neil
was
Peart's
gonna say
awesome.
we were just talking about him before the podcast when we were waiting for everybody.
Oh really? You're talking about Rush without me, you son of a bitch.
Well, yes, he had a story.
I have an actual photograph of Geddy Lee that my dad took at one of their concerts in the
I thought
80s.
Geddy Lee was a woman. For
Me
the
too.
longest time.
My brother got really upset. He's like, "How dare you?"
He looks like a woman. He sings like a woman.
Yeah.
He's awesome, man.
Because I actually thought Rush was the first female-led band that I was a fan of when I was a kid.
I thought the same
Because it's
thing.
one of those
Darn.
things, growing up in the 80s, you're like, girls are icky, so it's like, you're afraid to, say that you like a girl musician because you're afraid, the guys will make fun of you at the playground. Because I love Fleetwood Mac, but I was not going to fucking
That
admit
was
to
the
it.
first concert I ever went to.
What,
was
Fleetwood Mac? I'm jealous.
Man, I went to the Ninja Turtles coming out of their show floor.
So did a buddy of mine. I was jealous at the time, but as an adult, I watched that tape, and I was like, holy shit, this is bad.
Yeah. I still have the cassette tape.
I had the
Hut.
cassette tape too, yeah, from Pizza Hut, yeah.
Yeah.
I had Skipping Stone memorized.
Heck
Oh my god.
Man, this went way off the rails real quick, but that's alright.
I don't
I like
think-
the banter ones better. When
I don't think we even touched on anything.
Nah.
It started with it.
So we got Selena.
Selena's. I just wanted to work Selena's into the podcast because I
Selena's.
like saying it. So that's going to be a running gag throughout this podcast and maybe the rest of this time ever we do this show. But Defenders came out last week. Nelson and I had reviewed the first episode.
Everybody's
Only the first episode.
everybody's watched
Well,
it.
last week because
Yeah,
that's all we had
watched it,
time to
right?
watch before we started
Yeah.
recording. Because remember, we watched the first one, then you watched it while we were going out and get pizza and beer, and then we watched like the next two.
Like the whole it's on Netflix or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all on Netflix.
8 episodes. It's awesome.
It's
My
good. It's really good.
favorite part of that entire thing though was when Stick came into the Chinese restaurant. He's like, "You might be the Iron Fist, but you're still a blithering dumbass."
Yeah, well, what's interesting is like the Iron Fist show wasn't great, and you look at the character Danny Rand, you're like, he is supposed to be the most badass martial artist in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Yet he's getting his ass kicked by
Like
everybody.
Left
Daredevil?
and
Yeah.
right.
But
like,
I guess the only way to really look at it is that he hasn't been the Iron Fist very long.
Yeah.
He's just coming into his powers.
mhm.
So right now, all he can do is harness his chi to get his fists.
Yeah,
he can't harness his chi to make himself stronger.
Yeah,
like he
what
can
I
in the comics
what
now.
I found weird though about that was when they when all four of them met up for the first time when they were raiding the Hands corporate building.
Midland Circle.
Yeah, and freaking Daredevil is going back and forth with Elektra. He's not trying his hardest because it's Elektra, so he's not trying to beat the shit out of her. And then Danny just comes in and punches her through a wall. I was like, damn! I was like, I can't listen more. And then, granted, I guess you could say him and Daredevil have the same training since he was trained by Stick, and Stick kind
Yeah.
of trains in the same way as
Yeah.
He's
the
part
monks
of
in
that one-
Kunlo.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like when Daredevil just kind of beat his ass,
Yeah, but-
and then.
Daredevil's fighting style, I mean, there's a lot of boxing in it, too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely...
But what I mean is, like, if you think about it, especially if you think about it from the Marvel comic, with the comic book point of view, is like, Daredevil should not be holding his own that well against, like,
No,
the Iron Fist.
because Iron Fist, he's supposed to be like the best martial artist in the Marvel universe. But I think the way we gotta look at it is that
Yeah, he's still
he's
new.
still young.
Yeah.
And he's still new, so he hasn't really.
That's kind of the way I looked at it, too, because I think a lot of
Yeah.
people were bitching about it.
And it's like, oh, he's so whiny and this and that and whatever. It's like, well, he probably
Yeah, that was
written that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
I'm
my
annoyed
biggest,
by the
notice
whininess, just
about it.
because, like, all the Iron Fist stuff I've ever read, he's kind of more like a surfer.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm used to. And I'm used to him being more wise. Because, again, I didn't start reading Iron Fist stuff until, like, the 2000s. When they revamped Heroes for Hire, which was fucking hilarious. And that's what they need to do. I don't want to see another Iron Fist or Luke Cage solo thing. I want a Lethal Weapon style, get Shane Black to write it if we have to, Heroes for Hire
Yeah.
series.
I'm drunk for this shit.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I completely agree about those two series because I feel like them getting their own single series each kind of it really puts them in a bad position because they work better in shorter bursts.
Yeah, plus it would be a nice tonal shift.
Yeah.
Because all the Netflix ones have been super serious.
Yeah.
So it would be a nice tonal shift to get, like, and it doesn't have to be like slapstick like Lethal Weapon 3 and 4, but give me like some Lethal Weapon 2 in there. That'd be fantastic.
No Jet Li.
No, not Jet Li. Though I do like that at the end of 4 is like he's like, how did he pull my gun apart like that? It's like, oh, I guess we gotta ask. And then they go get their ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
You leveled up.
But it was a good show. It was good.
Nice.
8 episodes was like. I think they did.
I still
They
say
got-
10 should be the sweet spot.
Yeah, it was 12.
Yeah.
12 the other ones, right?
13.
It just
13.
seemed,
Yeah,
it
13.
just
Yeah.
seemed like too little. or
Too
something.
little because
But it
It-
didn't seem rushed though. So I mean,
no,
I
it
was
didn't
okay
seem
with
rushed. Yeah, but I think we could have devoted some more time, with background of the hand because like their plan wasn't really fleshed out. Like I guess you can fill in the blanks, but the whole like if they take the dragon bones from underneath New York collapses, but they don't explain why because. Even with the city settling on those dragon bones for so many millennia.
That was the,
Yeah, so things like you're like, so is that the thing? That's what I
so
gathered.
the substance
was in the dragon bones. Like
Right.
the dragon bones is the substance. Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't
dragon
really
bones are the
explain the
substance.
substance. So you kind of have to piece together, and I might be piecing it together wrong, but what I get is the substance comes from the dragon bones. They remove the dragon bones from beneath New York City. New York collapses in on itself, or at least Hell's Kitchen, because I think that was the worst effect by the quake.
Yeah.
Lindsay's like, I don't know what the fuck
Well,
this is.
I think
But you said dragons, and so I'm thinking witches and Wiccan and a morgue.
Evil things.
No, I
Yes.
think with that, so when they use that earthquake machine or whatever they did for the earthquake.
See, I don't even know what that is.
Right.
Like,
Right.
how did the
Right.
earthquake go?
So I think they were testing. So whatever machine they were using, they were testing what they were going to do once their plan went to full effect.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I thought like they
Yeah.
had an earthquake machine, and that's what we were building up to, and it's like, no, we're going to remove the dragon bones.
I thought that was Elektra arriving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know-
'cause it-
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like that earthquake
there's
never.
a lot
Got,
of
I thought that
combos.
earthquake was going to get explained, but we never really got an explanation for it.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it was just some machine they put together. And
Yeah, because I thought they had like a doomsday
machine.
machine. I thought they were going to unleash that in New York. I thought that was their master plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they got the substance, then they could be essentially immortal,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't have to worry about
And also-
running out.
And it was kind of cheap how they were, you know, how Six going into the background of like Pompeii, Chernobyl, and like it's just random. Like, okay, those are two places that got destroyed, but not in the same way. It was just random. There was
Well-
no tie to like what. Why would the hand do that? Like,
Well, no,
because the hand
they
were the
kind
League
of
of Shadows
what
from
I
Batman
got
Begins.
what I got implied from that was those cities were above dragon bones also, and once they removed the substance in the dragon bones, that caused a cataclysm of some kind.
Gotcha.
One being, but
volcano.
So faulty design
Well, I mean,
of
if
the
you-
reactor.
Yeah.
well, no. If you think about it, at least with Pompeii, you know, the volcano could be caused by fault lines, so earthquake could cause the volcano. Yeah, Chernobyl doesn't make much sense. I don't have an explanation for that because though I don't know all the history of Chernobyl, I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with an earthquake.
No,
No,
the nuclear
no,
reactor.
no, so-
Yeah, I know the nuclear reactor, but I don't know what caused it. Is what I'm saying.
Bad,
Like,
bad design.
yeah,
Right,
right, yeah, that's
right,
everything
bad
in the
design,
Soviet
yeah.
Union. Which is why there's so many cosmonauts that died that we don't know about because they just get erased out of photos and don't exist.
Yeah, that was true until we had the two shuttle accidents and we kind of topped them.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it's kind of like at least we like kind of admitted to our fuck ups. Where the Soviet Union was like, no, didn't happen. Wasn't there a picture with all these guys in it? Now they're gone. What are you talking about, comrade? Can I get out of this work camp, Stalin? No, you cannot.
I like the turn that took.
Actually,
An awkward silence.
It's just,
So at the end, right? So Daredevil and Elektra escaped. Gal lived, I'm assuming.
probably.
Yeah, she's. I
Because
think she's the
she
only
didn't
one.
die on screen, so if she didn't die on
Yeah,
screen,
exactly.
she's still alive.
Yeah, she's too cool to die off screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ending was just so predictable because like you see that Daredevil and Elektra are gone and
Yep.
there's this like morning. I'm just like, oh god, are you serious? They're really gonna like go through this entire thing where they think that the two biggest characters are dead and then Daredevil shows
Well,
back
the
and it's like,
biggest
oh,
character, I would
well,
say two
what-
biggest characters. Punisher wasn't there, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that.
that's
I can't
November?
wait for Punisher.
I was
November.
gonna say Punisher.
I think so, yeah. Oh, have you not seen Daredevil season 2?
I don't watch Daredevil.
Oh, it's the best one.
Ask you to kindly leave.
best-
No,
That's-
I have my spot.
Madam, good day.
Yeah,
That's like two of the
I'm
best.
busy, like-
3 of the best fight scenes I've almost ever seen
Oh,
are
yeah.
in those first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
The hallway
would
scene in
never
season
go
1,
that.
the hallway scene in season 2, and the jail scene with the Punisher in
Oh,
season 2.
that was
Wait,
awesome.
season 2, it wasn't a hallway, it was a stairwell.
Well, stairwell, yeah.
The best fighting scenes you've ever seen?
On TV, I should say. I'm going to clarify
Okay.
that. On a TV show.
Because the first two were the jail scene. Was that single take?
Yeah, I
Okay,
believe
so-
it was a long...
Yeah,
well,
that was what was missing.
maybe
from-
not a single take, but a long shot.
Okay, but I mean that was what was missing.
No, they kind of did two long shot s. You could tell if you're like well enough into film, you can tell where the cuts were.
Oh yeah.
But they had one episode 4 or 5, Nelson. It was
Yeah,
one,
it was like-
it was one of the first times they fought together where they were in.
Oh, that was like episode 3.
yeah, when they
Oh,
when
when
they
yeah.
out of the boardroom, that was and they were in the hallway. That was kind of a long shot.
okay,
And then
yeah.
like the final battle where they're all fighting the hand, we got the revolving camera. That was a bit of a long shot too.
I guess it's not as pronounced when it's more than one like person.
Yeah, because you're following more than one
Yeah.
person because the camera will jerk real
Yep.
quick. Where, God, that fight scene in season 1 of Daredevil, that is so great.
What's
Especially the part where you see the guy just there, and you see the freaking microwave just nail him.
So good, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's even better when you watch it in 4K off the Netflix 4K.
Oh really?
Yeah, as soon as I got the Xbox One S, I upgraded that. Which I was disappointed though. Defenders wasn't available in 4K. It was just HD.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I searched it because I was like, I don't know if this... Because I was like, this looks really good, but I don't think it's 4K. Because I remember Daredevil was in 4K because like I searched 4K when I got the Xbox S.
Season 2?
What season did we watch, Jason, when we did it in 4K? Because we didn't watch the entire season. We just kind of like went back and watched
Season
like,
2
highlights.
because...
No, we also did Season 1 because we watched the hallway scene again.
Yeah, but we initially saw Season 1 at the old...
I know, no, but I mean like when I searched it. Because I just searched
I
Netflix
think
like
Defenders
4K
was
stuff.
filmed using the whatever that red camera.
Well, it's not available in 4K. At least not...
Weird.
First
okay,
year.
I think that it might have been filmed using the...
Yeah,
red.
maybe they...
Yeah, I don't see why they would film it in anything less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
because everyone's
this-
using
this day.
those red cameras or everything
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Well, red cameras have been used for years, actually.
But speaking of 4K, for Guardians of the Galaxy, I was telling you this off camera. First Disney and Marvel movie to be on 4K DVD. So pretty. Like I was...
It's beautiful. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a pretty movie regardless. But
Yeah.
when you watch that in 4K and you get like that depth, you're like, oh wow! Like I was noticing like colors and shit. I did not see when we went to go see it in the theater. I was like, wow.
That was a good movie.
And that opening credit scene with like Groot dancing, like what I love so much
You were
about that.
snapping it
Oh, I do,
over
'cause-
and over again on
Yeah,
your story.
I love it. I love that. But no, what makes it so great is like it's so subversive. You think you're gonna watch this big battle with like this octopus monster. And then
But
no,
it's
you don't.
really
You don't
just,
really
like,
see it. You see
Groot fucking around,
dancing
like-
around.
Oh, and then the bonus features, I think. It's,
See, I haven't even got to watch that yet
Okay.
because it's not. The bonus features aren't on the 4K DVD. I got to put in the Blu-ray
Okay.
to watch the
Just-
bonus
just
features. So I just haven't gotten to that yet.
I saw a little bit of a clip of one of the bonus features, and it's James Gunn doing.
Oh yeah, he did the
I
dancing.
saw
on it.
that.
Yeah,
I
he
saw that
put that on his Facebook page a
on
few months
Facebook.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
It was so funny. I was like, oh my god.
Because now, like when Groot does that little thing with the arms, because that was the clip he put up there. I don't see Groot. I see like James Gunn
him
doing
just
that.
in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite directors. Like I've been following him since the beginning.
Oh man, I
'Cause,
just
like,
Romeo and Juliet.
Because I remember, but I don't think he directed that. I think
He did.
Did he? I thought
Yeah.
he did. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought his.
You talking
Oh no,
about
no,
Slither
Slither was his first major motion
Yeah.
picture
Yeah.
debut. But yeah, because I remember, I didn't see Romeo and Juliet till after that. But I remember when Slither came out, my ex-wife, I think we were dating then. I don't think we were married yet. Yeah, we weren't married yet because we were living in the apartment. She really wanted to go see that because she's a big horror fan. And I was like, that looks interesting. I was like, I like
Is that the
Nathan.
one with like the bathtub? On
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I like Nathan Fillion. I like Michael Rooker. I'll give this a shot. And I was like,
Who was not Rachel McAdams?
It was a
Rita
Elizabeth Banks.
Repulsive. Yeah,
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Banks.
Banks.
Yeah,
The only Rita
the
Repulsive.
Don't
I
you
recommend.
dare
Right.
call her
Doppelganger.
Rita Repulsive.
Yeah.
Or doppelganger.
Don't start that. Don't start that.
But so I like walked out. I was like, this film is fucking brilliant because they didn't advertise it right because they kind of advertised it as like a straight like body snatchers horror movie kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, this is a dark comedy. I hate it when like studios get like a brilliant film and they fuck up the advertising. Like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Speaking of Shane Black from earlier.
Such a great.
Yeah, and that was,
movie.
and I went to see it because I love Shane Black. And I was like, and I like Robert Downey Jr. Val Kilmer. I was like, I'm gonna go see this regardless.
Michelle Moynihan, like it's got a good
Yeah.
cast.
Mhm.
Corbin Burnson.
Corbin Burnson, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a really.
Which speaking of Corbin Burnson, my son is like enamored with Psych.
Dude,
because-
Psych is such a great show.
Well, the thing
They're
is,
doing
like,
a movie.
they pulled it. I can't wait for that. And that's why, like, I bought all 8 seasons on iTunes. Because, like, when the movie trailer hit during San Diego Comic-Con, I was like, I really want to watch Psych. Threw up Netflix. It used to be on there. Gone. Threw up Hulu. Gone. Amazon Prime. Gone. I was like, you motherfuckers. And so
Where else would you possibly watch it?
you can't stream it anymore. So I was like, well, I got some extra cash. Let me go buy a gift card for iTunes. I'm going to download all 8 seasons for $80.
I love Keisha's reaction.
It's
to
such
that.
a great show. When Carrie Elways came on the show. and-
Yeah, I just watched that episode again the other day.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
fantastic in that.
So
And
good.
I love like how like almost everybody from any John Hughes movie makes a guest appearance on it.
Yeah. The was it the
And also
Twin Peaks episode?
Twin Peaks, yeah, that episode is fantastic.
That show's out now, right? The new Twin Peaks, or is it coming out?
It's out. It's on Showtime. I haven't caught any of it.
Okay, I haven't caught any of it either. Like, is it like?
That's been one I've been meaning to watch
Sequel?
lately. I haven't been
Sequel, right?
watching this.
Yeah, it takes place like 20 years later.
Okay.
I remember when I saw the Twin Peaks movie, like, because I never saw the show initially, because, again, speaking of bad advertisement, because the way they advertised it, I thought it was like a scary show, because this came out when we were
Yeah,
like,
I was too
Yeah.
chicken
we were like
to
9 or
watch it
10,
when
like,
I was a kid.
Yeah.
the way it came out, I was like, this looks this looks terrifying. I don't want to watch
Well,
this.
the
Yeah,
drive
pretty
was
much.
kind of terrifying.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like I never got into it, and then years later, as a teenager, the Twin Peaks movie came on like Showtime or HBO. I was like, well, it's not the show, but I'll give it a chance. And I was like, this is weird, but I'm intrigued. I've never gone back to watch the show. I've always meant to.
Yeah.
But it was
I
just
think
kind
it's
of like
still on Netflix.
yeah, it was just one of those things. It was just kind of like it was. I always hate it when things get poorly advertised, like, and then you watch it like years later. It's like, wow, the advertisements made this look like a pile of shit, but it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think
well,
like Ravenous is a good example of that too. The way Ravenous was like Ravenous is one of the funniest movies.
What is that?
It's
name
like-
I've heard
came
that
from-
name, but I can't.
It's
remember.
the who's that? Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce?
Yeah. What was in it? One of the Arquettes was in it. One of the Arquette brothers. Anyway, it was sold as kind of a horror movie again, but it's a really, really black comedy about cannibalism.
Oh wow.
I
I
mean,
was guessing that from the title, Ravenous.
Yeah.
So moving on to the docket, sticking close to the news. So DC and Warner Bros. Announced that they're doing a Joker origin movie.
Oh boy.
Martin Scorsese is
bad idea.
producing it,
Yeah.
and Todd Phillips, the writer-director of the Hangover movies.
Yeah.
Todd something.
I don't remember.
It's gonna be a comedy.
Right.
I know. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's when I first saw that. I was like,
I was like, as far as I'm
Comedy,
concerned, that man has made one good movie.
They
Yeah.
casting
Hangover.
Skarsgård, or not Skarsgård. The younger brother. Is not
I don't know Skarsgård's name.
No, he plays it. He plays Pennywise.
I know, but I don't know his
Pennywise.
name. I
The actor that plays
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
oh, no, I don't know his name. I know
It's-
his face though.
Yeah, it's.
Well, yeah. So that actor. Supposedly people want him to play.
Really?
Here's the thing, like, I think this is a terrible idea because it's existing outside the DCEU, which might be dead at this point.
And the Batman movie is supposed to.
No, that Matt Reeves, I saw that today, said, no, it is. It's just a different time period. It's just like, what's with all this jumping around shit? It's because Wonder Woman was so successful. It's like, oh, everything's
we have
gonna be
money now
past
to make
now.
other bad movies.
good.
Yeah, but
Yeah, she's trying to keep the continuity intact somehow.
yeah, it's like I don't know what you guys are doing, but here's the things like the Joker origin movie is a terrible idea because what makes the Joker so great is that we don't know his origin because
Well, they
even with
changed it. They
Yeah,
It's
I know
so
even,
many
even with
different
the Killing
origins.
Joke, like it still changes. Like that was kind of canon for a while, but then not canon, and then maybe it is canon, maybe it's not. And that's what's great. Like one of the best things about Heath Ledger's Joker was it's kind of like you
So
want to know how he got these
random.
scars,
He
and
changed it
all
every
three
time.
times it was different stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's
that
just a crazy bastard.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
like I don't
that's
want to
why.
know the origin of the Joker, which is like I was not a big fan of the origin of Wolverine either, because what made Wolverine so cool was the mystery of
Yeah.
Wolverine. So I
Yeah.
mean, giving him a backstory and an origin, I was like,
And they made Syracuse's brother.
yeah, it's just half brother, step
Yeah,
brother.
half brother.
Something
It was so it was dumb. It's like we didn't need it because that was the cool part of the character is how mysterious he was. We
But-
didn't know all this.
I think it's like piggybacking off of all those people that were just flat out obsessed with Suicide Squad and stuff. They just want to see
Which are just
more
terrible
of,
people.
like more Joker, more
That's one of the
Joker,
worst
more
movies
Joker.
ever.
Although
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, geez,
Margot Robbie was yeah. I mean,
awesome. I
Margot
loved
Robbie
her.
was great.
That's
Will
fine, that
Smith
movie's
was
terrible.
great. I mean, I think individually the cast was probably pretty good.
Especially
Those
Slipknot.
two
He
anyway.
had like the greatest role ever. I'm not staying.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
Bye.
I mean, what's her name? She's the main villain, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Enchantress.
Cara
No,
Delevingne.
Cara
no,
Delevingne.
not the real.
No, yeah, the black chick. I can't think of her name.
Oh, Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller,
Yeah,
but the
yeah, the
actress's
actress.
name,
Yeah, I can't
Viola
remember.
Davis.
Yeah.
Oh,
she was amazing.
Well, she's amazing in
She's always
everything.
a good
But
good
But
actress.
she's good in whatever.
That movie's
Yeah.
still shit,
But-
and the plot was
Yeah.
stupid.
It was kind of painful to watch, like, listen to the writing for that one. But, like,
It was
anyway,
painful
I
to
still
watch.
think that, like,
I
a
made
lot
it
of, they're not
15 minutes in,
done.
and I had to turn it off, and I had to go back later.
They're not done with the Joker. They still think that they can make a shit ton of money off of it.
Then they need to
Those
get
people.
good writers
But
to
that
do
was-
the story.
That was one of the worst parts of Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
was
I
the shoehorn, like the
hated
shoehorned in
the
like
Joker in that.
As soon as I heard,
Well,
as soon
because
as I heard,
what they cut out was not what they should have.
Yeah,
yeah.
really
And the
messed
thing
up.
is, like, when I heard the Joker was in it, but he wasn't the main villain, I was like, well, that's gonna be a pile of shit. Because I was like, that means they're just shoehorning him,
Shoehorning.
Talk
Yes,
good
thank you.
words.
Yeah. It was just kind of like I was like, yeah, they're just throwing him in there to get people to go to. It's like
Yeah, I mean,
you can see a desperate movie when like you hear about
'Cause a lot
like
of
what
people
they're
don't
including.
like, even though like Harley Quinn is a big thing. She's kind of not to anybody that doesn't know anything about the Batman series because she's never been in any.
And
Batman
I hate how many
movies.
little girls love Harley Quinn now, just because that is not a character to idolize.
No,
she is a
then
damn.
idolizing the Joker Harley Quinn relationship.
Yeah.
That is not.
So
No,
many people
not-
are
that's an
angry about
abusive
that, but the
relationship.
only thing that they've ever seen of Joker and Harley Quinn, these little girls, is that they're painfully in love with each other, even though they're a little weird. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but that
the
teaches
thing.
little girls like this guy
I
can
know.
treat you like shit and almost kill you. Stay with him, honey.
Yeah,
It's
they've
meant to
actually
be.
in the comics now. Like Harley's, it's admitted it's an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Which I don't think she's even in a relationship with Joker anymore.
Like the funny,
But-
yeah, no, she's a super slut in DC Comics now, which is a great turn for the character. Like literally, like when they did the New 52, and she was on the Suicide Squad or Sinister Six, whatever the hell they called themselves, like
Suicide Squad, Sinister Six is Spider-Man.
no, not Sinister Six, but it was something six, maybe Suicide Six before the
Suicide
reboot.
Six, maybe?
Maybe it was something six before the reboot, and
Okay.
they called it the Suicide Squad. They revamped it as the Suicide Squad later. They just brought back that title from the 70s.
Okay.
But yeah, she was pretty much banging everybody on that team.
Everybody.
Yeah, she was just like,
Poison Ivy, everybody.
yeah, even Poison Ivy, yeah, because
She
that's
is
right. I
her.
forgot she
Yeah.
was like bisexual for a little bit in the comics.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, it's like, that doesn't show strong females. Like, DC likes to try to tout that they have strong females. Like, what are your main female
Yeah, they did the same
characters?
thing. They did the same thing to
Starfire, yeah, with the Teen Titans reboot.
Wow.
She became like a mega slut. I was like, and what was even worse about Starfire was she was so idolized by little girls from the Teen Titans Go cartoon that turning her literally like her costume in the New 52 was like,
It's like
a strip of
nothing.
purple
It's teeny,
and a
teeny,
strip of
like-
purple.
Yeah,
Seeing
they
girls
just cast.
cosplay as her is
Yeah.
like, oh my god, you're one wrong move, girl.
I know, it's like you better have some like Gorilla Glue freaking
Yeah.
boob tape on there.
They just cast Starfire, I guess, in the Teen Titans.
Yeah, I don't
live
like
action.
the girl they cast that because it's just like
I don't know. Yeah, I've been paying super attention to it, but Rebirth though, DC Rebirth has been pretty good.
I'm out of comics. I'll watch the movies when I'm done with comics.
Because with
They've got-
the whole thing with like
I wanted to read that, but I
Dr.
haven't gotten
Manhattan
around
and
to
everything
it.
they're doing now. It's
See, I think the Watchmen shouldn't even be in the DC. The Watchmen should have just been left alone because the whole
well, the
origin.
Watchmen itself aren't. It's just Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
They're using him as the catalyst to what caused.
Whatever, he should be in
everything.
it. Because the whole origin behind the Watchmen was so DC Comics bought, I can't remember the comic book company's name, but Blue Beetle and all those characters that were a part of that comic book company. They bought them and originally went to Alan Moore. Hey, we want you to do a miniseries to introduce these characters. So he wrote it, and they're like, "You've killed like everybody. We just bought these characters," and so
Alan Moore for you.
Yeah, and so they changed. So the question was one because the question became Rorschach. Blue Beetle, I believe, became Owl, and I just don't remember the other characters that they bought. And so they renamed the characters.
Didn't he use like some JLA people too?
No,
Okay.
no, it was literally just these new characters because that's what
Okay.
the Watchmen originally was. And they're like, no, but they're like, this is still good. Which DC today wouldn't do this. They would just say no and get some shitty SJW to rewrite it.
Yeah.
So that's how the Watchmen came about because the Watchmen was a one shot. It was Alan Moore telling a pretty cool story that was a satire almost on the politics of America in the 80s and late 70s, and just kind of like if we had superheroes in the real world, how would the world react to them? And then DC fucked that up when the movie came out and had Before Watchmen. And it's kind of like I don't agree with Alan Moore all the time because I think he's a crazy bastard.
He is a crazy bastard.
But when he was just like,
He's
"This
fairies
is,"
and stuff.
when he was like, "This is stupid. You're ruining my creation," I was like, "I'm kind of with him on this."
He said that about
I think
everything
the
that they've gotten a hold of his stuff.
No, no.
And they've ruined. But
I think the ending in the movie is better than the comics. It makes more sense.
I agree. Yeah.
I think the comic is extremely overrated. I say that for two reasons. One, it's a product of its time. If I think I would have liked it a lot more if I read that as a teenager in the 80s. And also, by the time I got a hold of it, people were telling me it was the be-all, end-all. But it is so dated. Like, it
And it's hard to
belongs
get
in the
into.
80s.
I mean, it's good. I mean, it's
It's good, but it's not like, after everything that's come after it, it's not that earth-shaking anymore.
Yeah, like, I mean, Jeff Johns, when he was writing, I mean, he still writes great stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
DC really
it's
kind of
it's
took
not
over.
as good as The Dark Knight Returns, which even though that's also a product of the 80s, that's still timeless though. It's not as good as Batman Year One, and I hate going off on a tangent on Frank Miller stuff. It's not as good as his run on Daredevil. Like there's so many things that came
You're
after.
a big Miller fan.
No, I'm not. I freaking hate Frank Miller. He just did some good shit in the 80s, and he's been writing that to like get terrible stories published since then.
Mark Miller's where it's at, or Millar, if you want to call it.
Millar. I always say
Stuff's
Millar.
great. Kingsman, the new Kingsman movie.
Oh man,
Fantastic.
that was so freaking awesome, and they're coming out with that second one. But like the first Kingsman movie, I like lost my shit at that, like just the one part where it's like right after the church. And he just blows.
Oh
his
yeah,
face
that
off.
was.
But the thing,
surprising.
he immediately almost vomits, and that's what was so freaking funny because he can't stand the sight of blood.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that got me.
My biggest problem with the Kingsman, though, I don't know
Here
who
it comes.
told him to, was that lisp that Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
kept
what was he
using.
going with that?
I don't
with that
understand
character?
that.
Like every time
Was
he's
it
on.
written that way? Or did
Yeah,
he
I know.
just do
Every
it?
time he's on screen, I'm taken out of the movie because it's just. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like everything without Samuel L. Jackson, and I've never said this about a movie before. Everything without Sam Jackson, I'm fine with. But every time he's on screen with that lisp, I'm immediately pulled out of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's why that movie I think is a good movie and not a great movie like everybody else thinks. Because I can't get past that.
It didn't.
It just
do
it
that
drives
for
me insane.
No, I was able to ignore it. I guess I really enjoyed the movie. I can't wait till the second one comes
His
out.
other, so he Miller just sold Millerverse, I guess, just got
To
bought.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Netflix is so far in
There's
debt.
gonna-
I was like,
if
how are they going to make all this shit?
If they do
By charging us more.
like if they do
they
Nemesis,
were dead. I thought they were-
fantastic. If they do like Impeach,
No, they're like $40 million
I
in
heard
debt.
they were.
like some of his stuff, like
Right.
Miller, like some of his like it's really really good stuff.
How's Netflix in debt? I watch so many things.
Well, because you just pay $10 a month, they don't have any ads or anything like that. So, let's face it. How many of us share Netflix accounts with other people?
Everybody.
Technically, I don't, because everybody who has my Netflix
Well, I
password has lives in my house. So.
My sister has mine, and that's about it.
Avery.
She's a little thief.
So when are they saying these Joker origin movies coming out?
There's not even a start date yet.
No,
I'm
it's
sure.
just a lot of like info coming out.
Yeah, I'm like, DC, what are you doing? And it's like
Oh,
you said,
speaking of which, did you hear that Snyder might be coming back for the end of Justice League?
Oh, good. He'll ruin what Joss Whedon fixed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's great. Does he have any other children who can kill themselves?
Wow.
What? We were all thinking it. I'm just the only one with the balls to say
I
it.
like Snyder. I like Snyder.
Really?
I can't go that far.
No.
I like Snyder.
No, you're alone on that one, bro.
Yeah.
He had two good movies.
I
Two good
enjoyed-
movies.
I enjoyed Sucker Punch.
1.5 good
Sucker Punch
movies.
was awesome too. I liked it.
I like Sucker Punch.
I like
Really? You could have said Dawn of the Dead. You could have said 300, but no.
I like Sucker Punch.
I'm gonna go with
liked
Sucker
all of
Punch.
them. Sucker
Well,
Punch
you
is
get to
cool.
watch
I
it.
like all the music
I
that they chose for
Watchmen's
that,
really
too.
really good too, but like I like yeah. I
That's
like,
just like being a Stephen King fan. It's like, I like the Tommy Knockers.
I like yeah.
So many greats I could pull from. I'm gonna pull from that shitty book. I like the Tommy Knockers. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
What did I say about the Bruce Lee
Shitty.
movie earlier today?
God.
It's like making a Shawn Michaels movie, but making X-Pac the star.
I was so disheartened to hear about that.
Yeah.
Because the trailer and the commercials for that
It's like
Bruce Lee
not
movie
even- it's not
look so
even
badass,
real.
and Bruce Lee's not even like the focal point.
Yeah, it's so weird. I
It's
don't.
like it's not even like it's
It's not a biopic, even though it's advertised as a biopic.
They already made a Bruce Lee biopic.
And that
with
wasn't
Jason
that
Scott- with
that
Jason
isn't wasn't
Scott
even
Lee.
accurate,
It
but it was
was
a good
awesome.
movie.
And that was
Molly.
Enter the Dragon. Everything in Enter the Dragon happened.
Yes,
In fact, that's a documentary. It's not even a movie.
It's canon.
it's canon. It's
They
in the-
just
it's
followed
in the Bruce
around
Lee
Kareem
verse.
Abdul-Jabbar and Bruce Lee for a couple weeks, and they just filmed what they did.
They went on adventures.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that should be like a cartoon on Cartoon Network. The Adventures of Bruce Lee and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That would be good.
Throw Chuck Norris-
Right after the Mike Tyson mystery.
Yeah, just throw
Oh,
Chuck
dude,
Norris
Mike
every
Tyson
once in a
Mysteries
while.
is so good.
I
Okay,
have
guess
not
what?
watched it. I need to.
It's funny. It's
watch
really,
it.
really funny. What's great about it is that Tyson does not take himself too seriously.
No, Tyson hasn't taken himself seriously. I figure since The Hangover.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
since
he
his
just didn't-
tattoo on his face, but
No, because he was still crazy then. Because that's when he
Ah.
had the infamous "I'm gonna eat his children."
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Jesus, man.
Settled for an
He was
ear.
crazy.
Right.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Oh Mike Tyson.
So there's a big fight coming up Saturday, which everyone watching the podcast will know the results to. McGregor Mayweather fight.
I'm sure
Two
everyone will be
horrible human
disappointed.
beings going to punch each other.
Yeah.
It's probably going to go to a 12-round
McGregor has a
decision.
chance, but he's going against one of the best boxers.
No, I don't like to call Mayweather the
I'd
best
say
boxer.
defensive.
Best
One
def-
of the best.
Best defensive boxer.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Boring.
I don't know if I can call him a boxer. He's just like that kid you play in Street Fighter who hits back the entire time and then
Yeah.
gives you a cheap shot when you're
He
open.
still wins though, right?
Back,
Right.
back,
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Cheap shot. Back, 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 back.
I
Cheap
just
shot.
like all the shit talking beforehand.
Oh, that's
because
great.
That just,
It's
oh
just
my
funny.
god, it's so freaking funny.
The
Wasn't
fu-
he wore the jersey of the person that slept with his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Oh,
Oh,
Mc-
my
yeah.
god. it was
McGregor,
so
that's why the
funny.
WWE. That's why the WWE has been trying to hire McGregor because that dude can just like cut a promo. And the funniest thing that I found about the promo is when he called Mayweather boy. Everyone like started getting racialized. Like, well, he's Irish. That might not mean the same thing in Ireland. And let's face it, when you talk to any man and you call him boy, you're just insulting him by calling him a boy. Because I don't think McGregor was trying to like be racist there. I think he was just trying
When
to
I
get under
think
his skin by
somebody
calling
calling
him
somebody
boy.
boy, it's like you little boy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the way
what-
I took it. I was like, yeah, remember McGregor comes from a country of all white people, and I know in Ireland they call each other boy when they're trying to insult. So I was like, I don't think he knows the history of calling a black guy boy in this country.
I don't think that just because he's from Ireland that it would just be restricted to the United States.
No. Well, no. What I'm saying is like, I think he meant it disrespectfully, obviously,
course.
but I don't think he meant any racially anything behind it.
He's like, yeah.
I
you
think he was
child.
just trying to provoke him.
I think he's the type of guy that will try to push as
Oh,
much as
he'll
far as
definitely
he
watch
can.
that. He'll walk that
Yeah,
razor's
right.
edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he'll walk that razor's edge, no doubt.
so I wouldn't be surprised.
Because
Honestly,
that's
surprised.
part of McGregor's like strategy, just to get under your skin. Because let's face it, like whether it's video games, whether it's athletics, whether it's anything we're doing competitively, if someone gets into your head, you start fucking up. You start making mistakes, and that's what McGregor does. And another thing that McGregor does so well is wow, you only got one elimination.
Objective time, Josh.
I don't care.
I'm blocking.
I need more kills.
I may.
But didn't McGregor start as a boxer? Right?
In Ireland, but then he
I don't
quickly
know.
went to
Yeah.
MMA.
Okay.
The thing about McGregor is he's really good at visualizing everything his opponent's going to do. And I mean, that's why he's been so successful as a fighter, is because like nothing catches him off guard. He kind of has a plan for everything. And granted, going into the fight, I think Mayweather's going to win. But I think if McGregor can get a quick flurry and catch Mayweather off guard, if he lands that left, he could do some damage and fuck up Mayweather's plan. Even one punch KO him, because McGregor does have one punch striking ability. So I mean,
I think it would be awesome if near the end, if he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna lose, and just groundhouse kicks him in the face.
dude, that is what I'm waiting for. Like
everybody is
No.
hoping that happens.
If
It's like
we-
I'm gonna lose anyway. So
If
fuck
we
it,
get to
just
that
kicks him in the
12th, if
face.
we get to that 12th round, and the only way he can win is by knockout, and he knows he ain't getting that knockout, it's coming.
But
There's no doubt in my
he
mind
would
it's coming.
He would lose. He would. There's got to be some sort of like asterisk in there. Like,
Probably.
if you kick me in the face,
Right.
you don't get anything.
Nothing.
For as
Yeah.
shitty as a person Mayweather is, he's a very smart businessman also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's probably in there. I was just kind of. I wish what they would done was like best of 3 series, one boxing match, one MMA match, and then like a duel with pistols, flintlocks.
Wait, there's no kicks to the head?
No, it's a straight boxing
Yeah,
match.
it's a boxing.
That's because Mayweather knows, like, because the thing is, we could get 12 rounds out of a boxing match between these two. An MMA fight between the two of them, it's lasting like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because McGregor
dude,
would just.
McGregor would
And 20 seconds of that 30 seconds
put him
is
some
McGregor
armbar or some
showboating.
sort of
Yeah, 'cause
he would
he
shoot
just
on him
put
and he'd be
him
out.
down.
He would
So
he would take
fast.
him down and
Yeah.
tap him out
Yeah.
quickly. It
Yeah,
wouldn't even be a fight.
It's like Kimbo. Like if Kimbo was when Kimbo was playing, like he didn't have the
training.
the training.
No, he was just a
necessarily as-
brawler.
He was a brawler.
Yeah, he
right. It's like
he-
Tank Abbott. When Tank
yeah.
Abbott came back,
Yeah.
right? Like what happened? He got put in an armbar like right away, and he got taken out.
Yeah.
Once Kimbo started training with Bass Rutten more and more, and started working on his ground game, he actually stood a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, except for that glass chin of his.
Well, yeah, but he's like, if you have this certain background, and then yeah. So I don't know, like, yeah, it'd be over so quick if it was MMA. Like,
So my son has never really watched UFC until we went to the beach a couple weeks ago. We were sitting at this restaurant. And it was like a restaurant / bar, so they had TVs going, and they had on FS1. and they were showing UFC's Ultimate Knockouts, and he saw the Matt Hughes powerbomb
Oh,
knockout,
yeah.
and instantly he was like, I gotta watch more of this. That's my favorite knockout ever. Triangle choke, Matt Hughes last bit of strength, picks him up, drop powerbomb.
It's like that movie with Kevin James.
Oh yeah, Here Comes the Boom. Yeah.
Get out.
So,
You could have said fighter with freaking no, Warrior. Fighter's the boxing movie. Warrior with Bane and the teacher. Bane versus teacher.
I don't know why I thought you were talking about Never Back Down. It was like the black dude from freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. Because that's the only guy that was in it I remember.
Oh,
The bad guy. The one who was like, who?
Who?
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Come on, man.
Finally.
Oh, okay, that was funny. And then it was funny when Ego made, it's like, you know, when I heard, Star-Lord, he's like...
Yeah, he's like...
I don't get why people say Guardians of the Galaxy isn't as good as the first one. I feel it has just as much charm,
I like
and
it.
we
It's
don't
different,
waste any
but it's so
time
good.
on
I think.
building up.
They wasted all
I
the
didn't
time.
say it wasn't as good. I just
I
tend to
think
like the first one's
There was
better.
a lot that they could have taken out when they were.
I felt everything was
I
Yeah,
like
was
it.
yeah,
natural.
you're
I
right.
like
I mean,
the
the
first
middle
one
part
better.
dragged a
The
lot.
only
Yeah,
downside
but-
I felt about that movie was I knew going in Ego was a villain. I think that's the downside sometimes to comic book movies is when they try to do these turns. Like, granted, that was probably a big turn for people who weren't familiar with the character.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar.
But I knew
so
Ego was a bad guy,
yeah,
so I was
no.
like, damn it! Because it's like, I was starting to like it. Like, I knew going in he was the bad guy. But I do like how they kept that hidden from the trailers. Like, you figured
Yeah.
going in that the Sovereign was going to be the big bad of that movie.
Right.
And they played that up pretty well. And then they switched to Ego. So, I mean, if that wasn't a comic book movie, if I didn't know about Ego, if I didn't know he was a bad guy, that would... But, of course, the name Ego kind of also gives it away that he's kind of a bad guy. You don't
Not
hear
evil at all.
Yeah, you don't hear too many heroes named Ego.
I was
So-
just disappointed that
Only Vigo.
Yeah.
that they added Mantis and not Cosmo to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Cosmo was at the very end of the trailer.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, but he was also in the post-credit scene of the first one too.
Yeah, which
so,
means he should have been in the second one.
yeah, he should. I kind of.
I do enjoy how they had all the original Guardians in this movie, though.
I liked the
With
comedic
Yondu,
relief
Starhawk,
between
and the other ones I don't know the name of.
Yeah.
her and what was it?
Drax.
Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was freaking
He's like,
hilarious.
that was hilarious.
Dave
They
Bautista
killed
stole the show in that.
He was
Dude,
so good
Dave
at it.
Bautista, man, like, what was it, at the Comic-Con or something? Like, there was something of, could Drax defeat Thanos? And then Josh Brolin made some sort of comment, like, and then, Dave Bautista made some sort of joke about, okay, now that's, I'm gonna have to go back and train harder. Yeah.
They had actually I saw a small article on how this autistic boy or something said that he really
What's his name,
looked
Chris
up
Pratt?
to.
I was gonna say, was his name Zack Snyder?
The Drax character because he's like, nothing goes over my head. I will catch it. And he goes, "That's me. I don't understand that stuff either." And he goes, "That's me." And so his sister like made this like, connection to it, and the actor actually reached out. He's like, "That's so cool, man."
Man, he's
you
not
know,
an
so-
actor. He's a WWE superstar.
He's from
acted in
Maryland,
movies I
right?
don't
Where's
Yeah. But he reached out and was like, "Hey, thanks."
I thought he
for,
claims DC, but I thought he was from Alexandria.
everybody claims?
Yeah, I was about to
DC.
say.
No, he's from Alexandria. No,
Oh,
it's just
okay.
like you just say DC or you say Richmond if you're close to Richmond because those are bigger names and people recognize that.
Nobody cares about Richard.
Just like a lot of people from
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Jersey will say New York City because no one gives a shit about Jersey. You just say like the closest big city usually if you're from
Yeah, because if somebody asks you where you're from, especially like in the military, like, "Oh, where's your home?" and you're like, "Oh, so and so in Alabama," and they're like, "Where?" and you're like, "Nah, just don't worry about it, man. Just the biggest city. There you go."
yeah, it's like when I'd go on vacation stuff like that, meet people like, "Where are you from originally?" "Oh, Woodbridge, Virginia." Where's that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's right outside.
It's in
DC.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's near DC.
Where I could be like, "I'm from right here."
When I found Greenbow,
So maybe you
doesn't
had a
actually
tattoo.
exist.
I thought about a lot of people get little tattoos like that.
Well, I mean, if you want to tell people you're from Detroit, just show them a crater of shit.
There were I was in Detroit
Wow.
once, and across the river in Canada, they had some fireworks show,
Oh yeah, you told me.
and they had the big Ferris wheel, and all this lights and it was going off, and so all these people from Detroit were at the river, just kind of looking across. It reminded me of this scene in the Christmas Story when all the kids were looking into the store. I was like, oh my god!
And behind them, there's just sirens and dumpster
Yeah.
fires.
People getting
Yeah.
shot. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I guess for game one of the Yankees-Detroit series, we were kind of talking about that brawl. I guess the Yankees kicked the shit out of Detroit, and a buddy of mine who's a Yankees fan was like, Bronx Bombers dropping a lot of bombs in Detroit. I was like, no one would fucking notice if they actually did.
Hey, some parts of Detroit are actually real nice now. It's all gentrified and whatnot.
You can buy a house in Romulus, right near the airport, for $2,000.
Well, yeah, Detroit.
Why
homes
even
are-
buy it? You just go
are,
squat in it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to really squat in any houses in Detroit.
Yeah, seriously.
You might die.
Might.
You will.
So
A
you
lot of
can't
houses
drink
in
the
Detroit
water.
are all
There's
burnt
no
down.
I'll tell you
police.
one
Well, you
thing,
can
man.
drink water in Detroit, just not Flint.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about the Lions. They are a perfect mirror image of the city they represent.
Hey,
everyone's
stop,
been-
Once in the
stop
50s,
shitting on my
in
hometown,
the
alright?
50s, they were glorious, and then just slowly went to shit. And when something very mediocre happens, they celebrate like it's the goddamn Super Bowl.
Why not?
It's like the
Why not?
Redskins.
Who cares?
Didn't they want to put a?
We were good in the 90s,
They wanted
we
to
got
put a
that.
statue of RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been
It's
awesome.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Would've
But
got
you know
it.
what,
is
though,
always-
here's a little comment about the Redskins. They've never been so bad that they've made their two best players in franchise history retire. A la
Yeah,
Barry
yeah.
Sanders and Calvin Johnson.
Why did Barry Sanders leave?
Because he knew the team wasn't going to get any better, and he was the entire team.
And he still had a couple years, right? That's where he retired, or
Yeah. They weren't going to trade him. They weren't going to release him. And
Okay.
he was like,
I don't
I
know.
can't
Running
play.
backs don't have a
And
long
the,
shelf life. to
Yeah,
begin
no, they
with.
don't.
Barry Sanders did because you couldn't tackle him.
he just ran out of bounds. most
But
likely.
freaking Calvin Johnson said the worst thing. He was like, I'm stuck in this contract, and I believe we peaked at 9-7. We peaked, and I'm never going to get to the Super Bowl. I would rather retire with my health. And I was just
Why
like,
not?
I was like,
Right.
damn. Because I would have just half-assed it until they cut me and then tried to get with a better team. But he was so beaten down by that team in that city. He was
Well,
like,
it could be hard.
no, I just want to
I'm
quit the
sure.
thing I love the most.
Oh.
Well, when you put it that way, that's really depressing.
I couldn't be a Lions fan and read that and then just want to go get up the next one. It's
See,
like
I don't watch Lions football or anything like that.
you
I
spared
like.
yourself from just a lifetime of misery.
Still have the Red Wings.
That's kind of the reason why I
Yeah,
stopped
the
watching
Red Wings are
Redskins,
awesome. Even though the Tigers aren't that great, I
Well, the
enjoy
Tigers won
watching
the World
them
Series
a
a
lot.
few years ago, so when they got that, I mean,
They used to always lead the league in home runs.
That was when they had.
League.
Was Leland still there? That was when they had that ancient manager.
that would be Jim Leland because
Yeah.
he's ancient, but yeah, he's retired.
Okay, I thought yeah.
Tell you one thing, Leland could build teams. He was the architect of the Pirates team in the 90s. He took the Marlins to their first World Series win.
They bought that championship though, the Marlins.
Oh, that's right, they did buy that one.
Pretty
that's right.
much.
Half that team was Leland's old Pirates team,
Yeah,
so you can
yeah.
say he technically built that team too.
Yeah, they signed everybody 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of like that season of Saturday Night Live when Billy Crystal and everybody was on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, he helped rebuild the Giants. So, not the Giants, I'm sorry, the Tigers.
What's happened to the Giants?
Don't talk about the Giants. It's painful.
No, so I was probably like, that was a badass thing. I was like, oh, it was just a bunch of turds. But you did kill 2 people, so that works.
So what is this about 3D remake of Secret of Mana?
Yeah, so I got an email from Square Enix about a 3D remake of Secret of Mana. I was like, sweet, that's going to be awesome on the Switch. And I scroll down. It's just the PS Vita and PS4 and Steam.
But
I was like, if you're putting it on the Vita, how the fuck is this not on the Switch?
why would you make it 3? One of the things that made that game so good was the artwork. The game itself was.
Because Squaresoft likes to ruin everything that's nostalgic about the company, just like how they're changing everything about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Yeah, how is that going? Are they still
So they're doing is it an HD remake or something? But they're
Of 7 or Mana? What are you talking about?
7?
Yeah, it's an HD remake of 7, except they're changing the battle style. It's episodic now.
Yeah, I knew that.
We
that
have
was,
no idea when it's coming out.
Yep.
But yeah,
I'm gonna go with never.
But
Right.
what's cool about the Secret of Mana 3D remake though, it's chibi style though.
Okay.
So it still keeps that charm from the old 16-bit era. Once because I might still have on my phone. I'll show you the little image they sent me. So it looked cool. I got excited because I haven't played Secret of Mana since like freshman year or sophomore year of high school. It's been a minute. So I was like, cool. Because I don't have time to play JRPGs on a console anymore. Like, because I've said this a couple times on the podcast, I bought I Am Setsuna while I was in Japan. Because, like, I know it's going to take a lot of time, but I can play it on the go, so I can play it on my commute and things like that. But, yeah, so that's not coming out for the Switch, which I think is Square Enix leaving money on the table right there. 'Cause that's the hottest selling system right now.
Yeah.
And
Well, for now, anyway.
the fact that you made it for the Vita is ridiculous because...
It's like, who supports... Nobody supports the Vita.
I thought it was discontinued.
The Vita is a fantastic handheld. They just... nobody ever supported it.
It's good.
So where's Square Enix based out of?
Japan.
And that's the reason why it's available.
Where's
for the Vita.
Nintendo based out of?
Yeah.
Japan.
Okay.
So I mean, with
I'm
something like
surprised they didn't make a 3DS version.
yeah, well, see the thing is like if this was like Final Fantasy 15, I get why that's not on the Switch because that's a massive game. The Switch doesn't have the hardware to run it. But if you can run it on the Vita, you can run it on the 3DS, you can run it on the Switch. So I mean, it's not. See, I just don't get like not porting it because it's not hardware limitations. Because the Switch can run Skyrim, which Digital Foundry got to play Skyrim on the Switch, and they said it runs better than the 360 and the PS3 version, and almost as good as the PS4, Xbox One version.
Nice.
But
So-
nothing near the
Skyrim.
PC version.
Well, maybe it's a sales thing, or maybe Nintendo just did not acquire the license for it. I mean,
Well, no, with I Am Setsuna and other Square Enix games coming to the Switch, I don't think it's that, like, I can't even fathom why you wouldn't do it. Because this isn't like the late 90s where Square is pretty much exclusive to PlayStation like they were with all the Final Fantasy games. Because they've got the Final Fantasy games coming out on the Xbox
They
and
weren't really
stuff like that.
exclusive. They were forced because that
Well, I
was
know
the
they
only
were
game
forced.
in town that
Well, I
had
know.
technology
Well, they didn't start supporting the Xbox till the 360.
Yeah, well.
So, when I say exclusive, I use the term
Yep.
loosely. Like,
It's because Nintendo just hates technology and
money.
wants to just and money.
oh, we're
yes.
gonna get to that, Yoshi word.
and they like to bend.
Well, I don't even know if you can say like they're against technology.
They
but
are
I mean-
against, they are against standard technology. They want everything proprietary and weird and I mean
I don't know about proprietary. The Switch isn't very proprietary. Like it uses.
they're
Something
cartridges
different.
by their nature, which they stuck with way too long. And then
Well,
even when they switched over to
for a handheld system, like you can't do discs.
PSP
I was
tried
about to
that.
say, yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
that.
PSP
Yeah.
tried that.
Yeah, and that was a dumpster fire.
That was the UMDs.
With their
were dumb.
UMDs.
That was
Yeah.
dumb, yeah.
Yeah, freaking Second and Charles will never sell those.
Yeah, and
They'll
plus,
just be there forever.
like cartridges now hold almost as much memory as your standard game disc. So I mean that's not even a problem now. I mean the Switch is brilliant for. I wish they weren't as small because I haven't lost any yet, but that's gonna happen. But that might be a marketing ploy too. It's just like we're gonna make them tiny so children
But
lose them. in
Nintendo's
price of
always
play.
been about very anti-piracy.
Anti-piracy, and also
That's why they stuck with cartridges.
they're also about affordability too for their hardware and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is what kept the Game Boy going from 1989 to 2013. I think is when the Game Boy was
Yeah.
finally officially discontinued.
Though it was nice that they those games weren't region locked at all.
No.
Because I could bring
They're
back.
region locked now, though, right?
No, they took them off because it was region locked for the DS, but with the Switch they don't region lock.
Yeah, it's not regional. That's why I was able to
Okay,
buy. It
okay.
was soon in Japan.
I've had my fill of Overwatch.
That's cool. We can just leave that screen up there. We got the sexy ladies and the sexy Lucio up there. Look at him with that hair.
Is that the lady in your icon?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is her. In her
Yeah, Rosia.
in her
She's
Overwatch
Russian.
Summer Games garb.
Yeah, I can't. I hope Tracer's got a cool icon because Tracer's one of my mains, so I'd like to rock a Tracer icon. But I
Yeah.
like the weightlifting icon.
This is awesome.
But yeah, speaking of awesome things, if you go to trylootcrate.com /clash and you enter in bridge 10, you're gonna save 10% discount on your Loot Crate subscription. It's like Christmas every month for as little as I believe it's $19.99 a month.
I believe that's still the low crate.
You get a crate that's usually about $45 to $60 worth of stuff. You get some cool stuff. Like I got some stuff over there, like the Doctor Strange, Deadpool, Hulk. Those are some of the cool things I got from Loot Crate. some other things over there. I've also got this WWE Slam Crate, which gives you some cool stuff.
Yep.
Get a poster, you get a little booklet. A lot of times you get wearables.
Yeah. Cool T-shirt.
Yeah.
Some socks.
Yeah.
Which
What
I
are
have no
those?
idea what happened with my socks.
I have
What are
some,
those?
So it is like
these are Ric Flair socks. These did not come from my Slam Crate, but I do have a pair of Bray Wyatt socks just like these from the same company. That
How's he
came
doing?
from my
He's
Slam
doing.
Crate.
He's doing better, right?
He's doing better, yeah.
Yeah, he's awake now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so description, it's
I don't know
the
about
link's going to be in the description below. Just go try lootcrate.com/clash and enter that promo code BRIDGE10. Save yourself 10%. Helps out the channel too. Because in case you guys don't know, YouTube is still fucking up with advertising revenue. It's gotten even worse now. Like if like the little algorithm detects guns in your thumbnails, which I've had to alter thumbnails. Like even though the thumbnails are like video game characters, I've got to kind of like hide the guns, erase the guns.
That's so
Oh, like
weird.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
So it's. I was gonna say it's like Cadis's class all over. It.
Yeah, so it's one of those things like, man, I was so pissed off in case that's totally tangent. I drew this badass picture of the Punisher because it was a drafting class. It was, and so I was just drawing for like this silk trim I was gonna do, like a Punisher show I was gonna make. This is badass. Like I had the Punisher symbol behind me, and I had him like with two guns going like that. Granted, yeah, it's cool, but he wasn't shooting anybody.
Yeah.
I almost got
Oh,
suspended for that
he
shit.
did the same thing to me.
Yeah.
I was doing a silk screen design too. I was using an anime character, and she had a gun. She was a bounty hunter, and he's like, "You gotta erase that gun." I'm like, "The fuck?"
At least he like, at least he told you.
Punisher, guns.
At least he told you had to erase it. He
some
grabbed my
guns.
fucking sketch and tore it up,
Wow.
and that was a badass sketch too.
What year was this?
No, I wasn't senior year for you. Or
I was a sophomore, so
Was
it was
so it was
before,
like 1999.
it was before
I was about to say,
before
was it pre or
Columbine.
post Columbine?
It was
that's
pre
the,
Columbine. It was
yeah.
it was
Columbine,
like
really?
right before that happened.
Man, some of the shit my brother drew.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Dave and you, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You had that flip book.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
so basically, granted, I got the long hair now, but I mean, I was your typical jock baseball player wearing polos and shit like that. There was no way you'd look at me as like that guy's gonna shoot up a school.
Well,
I was like Zach Morris, like fucking preppy right there. That guy.
Well, at least
He
until
might call
senior year.
timeout and commit sexual assault, but he's not going to shoot anybody.
What?
Well, he looked like that till senior year. He went through a Hardy Boy stage.
I did.
It's like I do remember that.
No, he
Not Hardy Boys.
He was
though.
already going
with
through
your
the Hardy
Jinkos,
Boy
with
stage
your
with the
Jinkos
polos and
pants.
the short hair.
Oh,
Jinkos?
those are
Oh, the
yeah.
Jinkos.
Yeah.
I could fit in one of those pants legs of my Jinkos. They were so fucking baggy.
God, Jinko.
Remember when Mike made Bernie sneak in Chinese food cartons into the movies in his Jinkos?
Yeah, it was easy.
Wow.
You can put
All I
anything
heard
in
was,
Jinkos.
"No, I don't want to put that in my fucking pocket."
Yeah, I can
I
say
turned around. I was like,
I've never-
he's shoving General Tso's cartons into his pocket.
Never.
I've put Cold Stone things like in my purse before. Like they're like at Tyson's Mall, they have the Cold Stone right next to the movie theater, and so I'll take 2 like big cartons of ice cream and just shove them in my purse and be like, "Hey, thanks."
I stuck in a 12-inch
Tyson's.
Subway sub in the sleeve of my jacket one
The
time.
best I ever saw was this like family of like, it was a mother and like 4 or 5 kids sitting a couple rows in front of me. Lights go dim. All of a sudden, out of her giant fucking purse, I see a big thing of Popeyes. And then just like one after another.
Yeah, the cans like you sneak
I was
beer
like,
into
they
a
were
movie
having
theater.
fucking family dinner at the theater.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Popeyes. Oh my god, that's so good.
But moving on to our last topic, which we're not going to spend as much time on because we just kind of going off the rails. But the whole pre-order for the SNES Classic and what a clusterfuck that was. For first off, Amazon and Best Buy thought 1 a.m. on Tuesday morning was the best time to start pre-order. So those of us with actual jobs who were sleeping.
Or if you were just
I didn't even know
unfortunate,
about it. I
yeah.
never got-
If you were
never-
just
never-
unfortunate,
never
not
got
to hear
I
about it.
notification.
bitched out Best Buy on Twitter the next day. I was like, I was signed up for an email for when pre-orders were going to go live. You guys didn't send me shit.
You're all
Yeah.
And we're like,
about
and they were like, then we're like, and they responded back like, we apologize that you didn't get your email. We are very sorry. I was like, sorry doesn't give me a fucking NES Classic,
You
dickhead.
put people on blast on Twitter so much. It's
I know.
hilarious.
Well,
You're
that's the
like,
best-
I'm so angry.
Let me give you guys
Twitter fingers.
a life
Yeah,
hack.
exactly.
Let me give you a life hack. If a company does you wrong, put a period at whatever that company is. Put them on blast. Within 24 hours, they get back to you. Usually with free shit. I have a free Domino's pizza coming to me tomorrow because I put Domino's on blast. Sprint is giving me discounts because I put them on blast.
Because he
I'm
removed
so
sauce
angry.
from his pizza and blamed it on
No,
Domino's.
I didn't remove shit. The app did that. And
Oh,
but
I don't.
Oh, so you got a
I don't
sauceless
buy it.
pizza?
I had a
I don't
It's a
sauceless
buy it.
pizza.
margarita
So
pizza.
you had cheesy bread.
Well, no, I still had sauce left over from when we made pizza, so I was like,
Oh.
Oh, but so an
So-
inside out
So he
pizza.
wasn't
Yeah.
really suffering.
Oh.
He wasn't really suffering.
Oh, wow.
It's
Cheesy
But-
bread and
Inside Out,
marinara
like-
sauce.
Yeah,
Have you
no.
seen that recent episode of Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
You guys watch that? The Inside Out
Yep.
or whatever? Where
Yeah,
she was
I've seen it.
turned completely. She's like, oh my
They're like,
god, that was
"Oh,
freaking so gross. I laughed so
Oh,
freaking
so
hard.
good.
at
Nah,
that.
but I
Did you
learned
watch
that
it?
shit a long time ago. A company wrongs you or fucks you over, or bitch them out on Twitter. Especially because because I've got almost 1,000 followers. If they see that you got a ton of followers, they are fucking quick to make it right. So yeah, I learned
So
that.
it wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, me either. Me and Nelson.
152.
That's
You know,
all I
if
got.
you post
guys-
more of your Harley
I know.
Quinn cosplay on Twitter, you're gonna get the followers.
Well,
That's
I
also
bought my
very
wig.
true.
I finally bought a nice lace front Harley Quinn wig. I just still need a style and everything, but I'm gonna be debuting it at Baltimore.
I still haven't
Nelson
decided if I'm
should
gonna go to
dress
that.
up as Harley Quinn. He can get a bunch of
You
followers.
can totally wear the wig and everything.
Don't do
Nelson,
it, bro.
it-
He's,
Jen-
he's,
Nelson-
he's daddy's
I
little
have some
monster.
fishnets that
Nelson,
they fit you.
it's gender fluid now, man. Just do
No.
it. There's no
Tomorrow,
Hey,
tomorrow.
If I can cosplay as Finn Balor at
That took
Awesome
balls.
Con. AKA, I'm just in a Speedo and body paint and kick pads.
I don't even have the balls to do that.
so you set up Best Buy alert. Did you set up Amazon?
Yes, and I didn't get an alert from
I
those
didn't-
assholes
yeah.
either.
Oh, man.
And then ThinkGeek was offering like bundles, which is bullshit.
Dude, those bundles were they were like a month ago.
No, they re-offered them when the
They
pre-orders
re-offered
were
them?
live.
Yeah,
And
like
there's
some
a couple
Mega,
of
they
them.
were some cool bundles.
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
price.
I don't really want to spend this money, but that Zelda chess set's kind of cool, and that Triforce Light is like $130.
Some of
I
those
can
were
do-
like
I can swing that.
$200, $300.
Yeah.
It would
love
never,
that
like-
site, though.
It would like constantly like time out, and then when it finally got to my cart and I went to check out, it removed it. That fucking didn't work. And then GameStop at 2 p.m. in the after fucking noon, when again normal people are at work, was like, oh, stop in our store to pre-order your Nintendo SNES Classic. Like,
I talked
fuck
to them,
you.
and they said they're not doing pre-orders for.
oh, they did, because I went to the store after I got off work, praying that no one saw that tweet from GameStop in our area.
Did you
Good,
come all the way
wrong.
back home first?
Wrong.
Oh no, this was after work, so I mean it was like 5 o'clock anyways. And I went there like, yeah, GameStop didn't even bother telling us that we were doing that. So people were coming in the store right after that tweet
Asking
went
stuff,
live,
and they-
asking
they
for
had no
pre-order.
idea.
And he's like, finally when it got into our computer, they were sold out in 5 minutes. I was like,
Wow.
great. And then GameStop finally released the pre-orders. So I walked over to Best Buy to pick up my Guardians of the Galaxy because I ordered that online just to pick up when I got off work. And I just went to GameStop real quick. Well, actually, I went to ThinkGeek first to see if I could get that bundle again. They were sold. I was like, fuck. I was like, let me just try
Do they have a
GameStop.
physical store? I know they have a
No,
physical store.
not here.
They
Not
don't
here.
have-
The physical
Texas,
store is in New
right?
York.
There's
Oh,
a physical
really?
store in
It's
Raleigh.
like in Times
Yeah.
Square.
There's one in Raleigh.
Awesome.
And then
Is there one in
yeah,
Texas? I thought there was one in Texas too.
sure,
Thank you.
why not? Fuck
Maybe, I don't
Texas.
know.
Texas
I like
ain't gonna-
maybe Austin, but I
After
don't
this
know.
hurricane hits, there's gonna be nothing in Texas, which I'm fine.
The
with.
hurricane-
It's not going to Dallas, so Dallas will still be there.
Damn it. But so I went to GameStop's website and they had bundles going too. One wasn't that bad. It came with like this history of the Super Nintendo Power Book, and then an extra wireless
There's a-
controller.
ThinkGeek in Fairfax.
Yeah, that's their
No, that's
headquarters.
their
Oh, that's
headquarters.
their
Yeah.
Yeah, they're based
And so I was
in
like,
Fairfax.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll order that for like
Okay,
$120. Get the extra controller.
Uh,
And fuck, man.
Okay.
Again, just like ThinkGeek, it'd go into my cart. I'd go to checkout. There was an error removed from my cart. I tried this like from the entire walk to Best Buy while I was checking out at Best Buy, walking to my car at every red light. It would fucking. I was like, maybe when I get home to the Wi-Fi, doesn't work. Tried it one more time, completely sold out. And it was just kind of like it was a clusterfuck of Nintendo hating money. Because as we said when the NES Classic came out, and I was actually able to get one of those, that is a fucking plastic shell with maybe like a TI-83 calculated processor in there. Those aren't hard to make. You
No,
can
it's-
make a shit ton of those.
It's false scarcity.
It's
Yeah,
it's, some
it's
sort of-
Nintendo making a false scarcity, which makes no goddamn sense. Because the thing is, like, if Nintendo made 10 million of these, they'd sell 10 million.
Yeah,
the problem
exactly.
is Nintendo never produce enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a toy maker's mentality and not
Yeah.
a technology
Yeah.
maker
But
technology.
what's funny, like in NES Classic, I think it's like a Raspberry Pi 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Raspberry Pi. It
Yeah,
might be
maybe.
a 3 as far as the 300 megabytes of capacity.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing is,
That's
like,
all
people,
you really need for those games.
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, what I love people buying them for collectabilities, like, unless you sell them right away, they're gonna depreciate in value eventually because people are gonna stop buying them.
Yeah.
Like, I've played my NES Classic like a handful of times.
Yeah.
I bought it out of pure nostalgia.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I wanted the SNES Classic, and originally I said I wasn't going to buy it, but I kind of want Star Fox 2. But the thing's like, I still, unlike my Nintendo, like my Nintendo died years ago, I still have my SNES. So all those games on there, A, I own half of them. And B, I can go out and get them if I want them, with the exception of Star Fox 2.
You can get the ROM if you really want to.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, it's like, I don't need the SNES 2. It's one of those things, I wanted it, and then now that I can't get it, the only way I'm going to buy one is if I happen to see one on store shelves. I'm not going to purposely go out of my way. Like, I just thought when the pre-orders went live, I was like, maybe Nintendo learned something and they have more, which they do have more of the SNES Classic, but still...
What does that even mean, right?
Yeah, it's still, like, not nearly enough. Though I will say if they do make a Nintendo 64 Classic, I have to have one of those.
I'd be curious
That'd
though,
be
how,
really cool.
how they would do an N64 Classic, because...
I think that's people wishful thinking, but I also thought that about the
I don't even
SNES
know what
Classic
they
and
would...
that came out.
So currently, there's not very many single-board computers that can properly run an emulator to emulate the N64 and have it run well enough.
Well, I mean...
Without it costing, like...
Well, the thing about an N64 Classic,
Over
like,
$100.
I don't think what people are really thinking about with that, though, is, like, it's not going to have a lot of the games you want. Banjo-Kazooie won't be on it. GoldenEye won't be on it. Like,
none of the wrestling games are going to be on that.
yeah, none of the
If you're
wrestling
a
games
fan
will
of
be on
those,
it. Yeah.
The sports games, probably not. Like any of the sports
And
games.
why would
probably
you-
not.
The
Yeah.
Griffey games could probably still be
Griffey
on
would
there.
probably, but, like, I don't know...
Like,
yeah.
except for like first party games like 1080.
Would Donkey Kong be on there? 'Cause
Yeah,
that was
they own it, and they've
Okay.
put the Donkey Kong games on.
I mean, you might get
the,
Smash Brothers.
Well, Donkey Kong Country's on the SNES, and that was made by Rare. The
Oh,
SNES
okay,
Classic.
okay, got it. Okay.
So I think the IPs they own, they can still use the Rare games, but the Rare games that Rare owns, like Banjo-Kazooie, they can't use. So
Yeah, no Perfect Dark.
yeah, no Perfect Dark. So I mean, like a lot of the games that we loved on the N64, like we're gonna get like the Nintendo first parties, but I don't see anything else really being on there. Not like the old.
Josh will look at it as
ones.
like no Jet Force Gemini.
Fuck this. Even though I still own that on the N64, and then I've got it on the Retro Replay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see it in N64 Classic, or whatever you want to call it, coming out. Cause, right, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Because currently, right now, if you wanted a single board computer emulated N64, you can get one for like it's over $100.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, the SNES Classic went up to 80, and the only thing that has less games and one controller, that's not worth. To me, that's not worth $20 extra dollars.
Yeah,
I
don't know,
I was really iffy when they released the price. I was like,
Wait,
$80
it's
for less games.
it's $69.
No, it's $79.99.
There's I know there's it's because it is $79, but you can get it somewhere for $69.
No, you can't.
How much? Is,
Because they're probably sold out. If
how
they
much
do
was the
that
NES
low.
Classic? Was that
$59.
$59? Okay.
No, there's no $69
Weird,
version.
because I'm assuming then that what's in the NES Classic is probably equivalent.
Probably very similar.
It's probably a Raspberry Pi.
The extra $20
one or
is because they're
two.
releasing the unreleased Star Fox 2. And they know a lot of people are going to pay that extra $20 just
The
for
problem
that.
is, like, once you play it, you're like, this is Star Fox 1.
You can say the problem is at
No, I mean,
all
literally,
people are going to buy
I
it.
played it, and it's just like, I didn't know, I was like, this is Star Fox.
But yeah, but
2.
what bugs me is like the false
Maybe
scarcity
you
Nintendo
had
does, because like
a ROM that was
Oh,
mislabeled.
no,
because
no,
the only
it was-
people
it was
Nintendo's
too
making
different.
money for is the scalpers. I mean, yes, they're making money, but they're not making nearly as much money as they could.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this isn't the era of pre-internet sales and kind of pre-orders where it's hard to tell how many units you're going to sell in an area. Like we fucking know, like you know in an area where you're going to sell, and when you can do internet pre-orders, like
Maybe that's why they did. A lot of these people are doing pre-orders, and because if you look at the SNES, it was like, okay, where can I get this classic? Nintendo wasn't releasing anything, any information, no pre-orders or nothing.
Well, I think the reason why Nintendo did that, 'cause I don't know like
Maybe
yes,
they gave these companies a green light to have.
there was a lot of buzz for the NES Classic coming out, but again, that wasn't a tested market. Like I could see where Nintendo could be skittish on that. 'Cause, like, because let's face it, like when it comes to nostalgia, the internet gets really excited for something really quick, and then that popularity dies off just as.
And then when it comes out, no one
no one buys it.
right.
Like that happens a lot in video games. But I think after the explosion of the NES Classic, I think Nintendo they know the big buzz of what the NES Classic would be. So there's no excuse for them not to have enough, especially when if you like they announced that shit back in July, kind of like the other one.
Yeah.
With as simple as technology that is, they could churn out enough.
Oh yeah.
To meet demand by September 29th. So I mean, they really have no excuse. Like if I were them, like I would set pre-orders for America at 500,000 because I think it's barely at 200,000.
How many did they make for the NES Classic? You know, did they release numbers on sales? Or?
No, I don't think they
ever
did.
doing.
No, I don't recall
that.
seeing. So I mean, like,
they discontinued it like
almost
very unexpectedly.
instantly. Yeah. It's like if they set pre-orders like 500,000 for the first run, they would meet that easily. And then let's say pre-orders went live Tuesday. So let's say we wait until September 1st to do a second round of pre-orders, and you would get this system October 29th or whatever. They could easily do another 500,000 and sell 1 million within a month. Easy.
Oh yeah. I mean, like people obviously like the Switch is their highest selling console.
Well, it's the hottest selling console this year so far.
Yeah, and I think they've sold more Switches than they've had any other their systems too.
No, not the Wii.
You don't think so?
The Wii is still, I believe, the highest selling console ever. I don't think the PS2
ever?
It's up there. The Wii has sold a mountain.
I think you're right. I can't remember.
I would see the Wii being slightly more popular.
Yeah, because everybody was buying
Yeah,
it.
like, you have it in
it was
every
sold out
household,
for like a
rather
year.
than like buying your kid just something portable like that. You know, like.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I think your best-selling consoles of all time is, and this is in no particular order, the Nintendo, the Wii, and the PS2.
That sounds about right.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so
I have Sony PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation 2 might be it, but I mean, like, the Wii's up there.
the Wii, yeah. So let's see, the Wii 13.7. Let's say Nintendo launch quarter sales 13.7 million Wii, 10.17 million Wii U, and the Switch 5.46. So that's software. Hold on, sorry. Hardware 2.86 million in Wii, 2.66 million Wii U, 2.74 Switch.
That's not right. That's not all time, because I think the Wii... Let's check.
How was the Wii that popular? I think
Okay, Google. How many Wiis did Nintendo sell all time?
Here are the top results. The first is from Wikipedia.
Good old Wikipedia.
Actually, let me go back.
How
to
all
it.
homework is done.
This is the best-selling consoles of all time, Wikipedia.
The trick, though, people that use Wikipedia, like, you're supposed to look at what they use, their references. And
Right.
you put the, like, if you're smart, you think
No,
about
Wikipedia is my reference.
Well, that's the thing, like, you're not supposed to use Wikipedia.
Okay, so
as a
PlayStation 2,
reference.
155 million. Nintendo DS, 154 million. Game Boy, 118 million. PlayStation, 102 million. The Wii, 101 million. So,
Top 5.
yeah. Well, as far as home console, top 3.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize the PlayStation sold that many. Like, I knew it was a juggernaut.
People were
but-
dying in the streets for the PlayStation 2. You don't remember that?
Well,
No,
I
the
remember
2. I
PlayStation
said-
2.
I said
He said the
PlayStation.
PlayStation, the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
Well, because I think a lot of it probably was sold in Japan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably
probably.
true.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but Nintendo would still have that same. I mean, if the Xbox is the only one.
You know, actually, where this list is wrong, though, because the Game Boy Advance is still considered a Game Boy, and that's 81 million. So technically, the Game Boy is the best-selling console ever, because that's above 200 million.
they just split them off from.
Yeah, because if you look at most like video game publications, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance is considered the same console. But yeah, so Nintendo really hates money apparently, because I can't think of any other reason why the SNES Classic wouldn't be mass produced. Because the profit margin also on that thing's got to be ridiculous. Because there's no way it
Oh,
costs
yeah.
them.
There's one other possible reason: they hate people.
Izzo, you are the most familiar with the Japanese.
Do they hate people? Yes or no?
I got the impression when I was in Japan for 2 weeks, they love people. They're very friendly.
Not if they're not selling what people want.
Yeah.
I really don't get, like, I can't even think, like, and this is where Nintendo of America bugs the shit out of me. Yes, maybe Nintendo of Japan has this old backward
You should
ass
blast Reggie.
way of thinking. Oh, I should. He would just ignore the shit out of me there, because I feel like as much love as Reggie Fils-Aimé gets, I feel he's probably a dick in real life. Like, he has that, like, fake, like, friendly, nice guy corporate, head of the corporate thing. I feel like he's an asshole.
So what you're saying is that Dragon Ball Z fight that he did was real.
Sure, why not? I don't know what you're talking about. But
No, it was a commercial for the Wii, I believe, where he had like a Dragon Ball Z-esque fight with like the president of Nintendo Japan.
So you're saying he beats up children?
Yes.
But no, it's like if I was like a VP or even the president of Nintendo America, I'd be on the phone with who replaced Toru Iwata? I can't remember who replaced him as president when he passed away. But I'd be like, the fuck are you doing? You are killing me here. I could sell. Yeah, you can translate for me. I could sell 10 millions of these things day fucking one. Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, I think
that would be the phone
Nintendo
call.
Nintendo was still afraid of what almost happened to them when they almost went out.
Yeah.
I was reading. I
Look at
saw
the Virtual
something.
Boy.
Well, I saw something
Oh, man.
recently
That was
where
so
it's like
long ago, though.
Nintendo has enough money.
Scars, man, scars.
Where if they were, they could stay in business till like 2050.
Mm-hmm.
We did just doing what they're doing, and not like, and they could still lose money every year.
Mm-hmm.
They would still.
And the thing is, like, I don't know who's like advising them, but like they're leaving. And the thing is, like, I can almost guarantee if Iwata was still alive and still in charge, this shit wouldn't be happening. Because that man had some business sense. I do love the story about him. Like, I remember watching it, like, right after he died, the gaming historian did, like, this whole bio thing on him. And it was, like, how he got involved with video games. Like, he convinced his dad to buy him, like, a TI-81 or 83. And he started developing games on that. And he started he started skipping school and started hanging out with these other tech nerds. And that's how they started HAL Laboratories, which is a bunch of nerds cutting class. And they developed a video game.
Shit.
Yeah, they developed a video game thing, and they were so good, Nintendo bought them. And then he was the first person, not of I can't remember the family's last name, not of the creating members of Nintendo to be a president of the company.
Because Nintendo was an old company.
Oh,
That's
they
100
had the Plinko machine.
yeah.
But that's their problem is they operate like a toy company from like the 50s.
Yep.
They don't operate like a modern technology company like Sony or Microsoft does. Because fucking if Sony could figure out how to make a PlayStation classic and sell it affordably like that with like 30 games on there, they'd have like 10 million at launch. They wouldn't fuck around.
Yeah.
And if Xbox,
Of course, they would have been delayed like 4 times, but
Probably,
they
yeah.
would have that.
it eventually come out.
Yeah.
They could make one. I mean, the Raspberry Pi 3 emulates a PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the emulators for.
But like I said, they'd have to make it affordable. It'd have to be under $100.
Oh no,
with
it
so
could
many
be
games.
because I mean you can right now. I mean you can buy a Raspberry Pi 3 for like $30.
Oh,
Buy a
okay.
case for like
Yeah.
10. You can put the whole thing together for like under 50.
Okay.
Get
Yes.
someone to 3D print you a case and then.
Well,
they-
the thing is, if you made it yourself for 50, that'd mean there'd have to be a markup. So they'd
That's
try
true.
legitimately, and plus licenses too,
Mm-hmm.
because they'd have to
Oh,
pay
man.
for the licenses.
Yeah, they could probably sell for $100.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I don't know. After
$100.
licensing and a markup to make it profitable, 150.
That's still not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but you're not
gonna
going to
be
get your
working.
casual
Yeah.
market with $150 outdated technology.
Yeah, you're gonna get the
Sony,
nostalgia
You're not
crowd,
paying
that's it.
$50 for the hardware.
Yeah.
Right.
You're paying $5 or some significant.
But they're going to act like they're paying $50 for the hardware.
Or just not put their tech in the thing at all, like their UHD in the PlayStation.
Holy shit, that's the stupidest move on the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
We're-
What?
the PlayStation 4 Pro doesn't have a HD Blu-ray player.
Oh, yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
no,
not HD
like,
Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray player.
Ben
in it.
Heck did a
did he do a
teardown
teardown?
of it. He did a teardown. He compared
I didn't
the
need a
PS4 to
teardown. I already
PS4.
knew it wasn't in
And
there.
it's just like he's like, this is the only difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I think Digital Foundry broke it down this way. At most, it would cost Sony $15 to add the 4K Blu-ray player in there. And Sony's like, well, we didn't think to because everybody streams now. It's like, you don't really stream 4K that often because if you don't have a really good internet supply, you're not streaming 4K.
Yeah.
So it just kind of cracked me up that Sony did that. I was like stupid, and that's also why like the Xbox One S killed the PS4 Pro, and already just with pre-orders.
In the States,
Yeah. Well,
keep that in mind.
no, I mean
They don't sell anything.
that's fine, but I mean
Xbox
no.
in Japan.
The Xbox S in the Western market has sold more than the PS4 Pro worldwide. You gotta remember, even though they don't sell too many of those things in Japan, like the Xbox 360 still outdid the PS3. So I mean, when you have a piece of tech that people want in games, and the pre-orders, and I saw this today, the pre-orders for the Xbox One X has already outsold the PS4 Pro worldwide.
They just went on pre-order.
Well,
right?
nobody
Yeah.
wants a PS4 Pro though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and I think the biggest ball Sony
It's
dropped there
because
was
it wasn't the 4K.
yeah, it didn't have a 4K player.
Their
I think-
own tech.
I think if it had a 4K Blu-ray player in it, much like how the PS2 outsold the Dreamcast, was because that DVD player. If you give people an affordable player for the next gen of movies, that moves it too. Because I mean, I originally bought my first PS3 because I wanted a Blu-ray player, and it was the best and cheapest Bluray player on the market.
I wanted a
That's
PS2
what
for the.
my
I wanted a
parents
PS2 for the
But
DVD player.
But even
Yeah.
with that
That's
tech
what my
though,
parents did.
I mean, the numbers for the PS3 didn't move nearly as well as the PS2.
No, it didn't. But that did get some people buying it just because they wanted a Blu-ray player early on.
I only bought the PS3 because it had a Blu-ray player.
Yeah,
That's
I bought that and for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I bought it
And
for
the show.
MLB. I bought it for the show.
I mean, the sales. It
And
didn't help
Uncharted.
the sales that the PS3 was delayed like a year and a half, something like that.
Not like 6 months.
It was
like,
well. They also had a lot of problems going on too at the same time.
Like
They had
that-
the rootkit thing going on.
Well, you would also have thought that Xbox would have learned from the PS3 debacle at E3, where Xbox fucked up later on with the Xbox One, because the PS3 launched for too much money at $600.
Yeah.
That controller, it was the original controller. They showed off that boomerang thing.
yeah.
That was just like.
Oh.
It's like the old Microsoft Sidewinder. It's like
Though I do like how though even though it sold,
I remember
I
that,
do like how the PS3 sold 83 million units. We're talking about it like it was a Doom system. Like it's still caught up at the end.
Yeah, it's still okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like it could have done so much better. But Sony just fucked up. And like Sony pulled a Nintendo there where they were so reliant early on the DualShock, the motion control that the DualShock could do for like steering stuff. They were so hung up on that just.
because the Wii came out before that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that why?
No. They did the whole PlayStation move
Oh, okay.
because of that. No, the Wii came out after the 360 and the PS3. Not that long after, but it did come out after.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just like that. The PS3 was a really stupid launch, just like the Xbox One was a stupid launch. And Xbox just didn't get their message out there. They kind of fumbled that. Because, I got both systems. I like my Xbox way better than my PlayStation.
Yeah.
I don't even remember even the PS4. Like, I don't. When did I turn it on last?
Yeah, it's exactly like my PS4 only gets played, like I told you when you got the show. He's like, oh, we should play something. I was like, maybe, but if you see me playing online, it's probably my son playing it, not me.
Yeah, like I only bought it because I was walking in Walmart and I saw they had an Uncharted bundle.
Oh,
I
there
was
you
like,
go.
sweet. So
Well, see, the bundle I got the Battlefront bundle. I got that. It came with Street Fighter V, an extra controller, and a headset for like $300. And I was like, that is kind of... And it also came with a bunch of old school Star Wars games. Like, that is too good to pass up. So I bought it because a buddy of mine, he was all alone playing Battlefront on the PS4. I was like, Brandon! We got this. And then it took like a day and a half for fucking Star Wars Battlefront to install. That took forever.
and then it took you a day
on the
and a
PS4.
half
Oh,
after
man, I
playing
remember
to realize
that.
it wasn't very good.
Oh, I already had it on the Xbox One. See, I don't like the thing on the battle.
Oh, the
game,
Battlefront 2,
That's looking cool.
dude.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I didn't like too much where I was running and shooting. I liked all the battle modes where you were in the X-wing or the TIE fighter. The dog fighting was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of
was
that in
cool.
2.
Yeah, so I can't wait for 2. But that's where we're going to end this podcast. I'm sure we've gone way over the hour limit. That's what happens when you have 3 guests going with the 3 regular people on here. So, as usual, good night, Canada.
Did your Dreamcast work?
Oh, yeah.